It happened in an instant, one savage tug of fabric, one cruel laugh, and the simple woman's shirt tore down the side, bearing her shoulder in front of the entire office corridor. Papers fluttered to the floor like wounded birds. The three corporate princes froze, their smug grins vanishing. I snapped to her Maya, who stood framed in the torn doorway.
Out.
Blood pounding in her ears and fury sparking behind her calm eyes. In that heartbeat, everyone understood. They had made a terrible mistake. Maya had spent 5 years working quietly as an administrative assistant at Lexington & Co., a prestigious consulting firm. She arrived early, stayed late, and always wore simple blouses and skirts, nothing flamboyant, nothing threatening. Her colleagues barely noticed her. She was the friendly face who labeled reports, scheduled meetings, and offered a warm greeting in the elevator. But she carried a secret. Under her unassuming exterior lay a decade of judo training, earned through discipline and necessity, a skill she never flaunted. The trouble began 2 weeks ago, when the firm's golden boys Brad, Darren, and Marcus discovered her secret online, a grainy video of Maya winning gold at a regional judo tournament. They smirked at her quiet confidence in the clip and decided it was ripe for mockery. At first it was childish, whispered jokes at the coffee machine, sly references during lunch. Maya smiled and nodded politely, determined to ignore them. But those whispers grew bolder, their laughter louder. On Monday morning, Brad tapped her gently on the shoulder and asked, "Hey, judo girl, pick up my dry cleaning, would you?" Maya responded with her usual soft, "Certainly," but her lips tightened. She would not lower herself into their game. On Wednesday, Darren swapped her stapler for a squeaking rubber chicken. She laughed it off, but inside, a pressure built tears of being underestimated, dismissed, and unseen. By Friday, the tension snapped. The three men cornered her in the deserted hallway outside the marketing team's bullpen. They brandished her favorite silk blouse, freshly laundered, folded neatly like a trophy of humiliation. "You think you're so tough, Karate Kid?" Marcus sneered. "Let's see how tough you are without your fancy clothes." With one brutal motion, Brad yanked the blouse from her shoulders, ripping it down the side with terrifying ease. Maya froze, her heart pounding. Her modest camisole hugged her frame. She desperately grabbed at the shredded fabric. "Stop," she hissed, voice low but fierce. "This is enough." But the three men only laughed, tossing the blouse aside and mocking her in unison. "Are you gonna do, lady?" Darren taunted. "Throw us too?" Something inside Maya cracked. For years she had swallowed insults, bandaged her wounded pride in secret, and avoided conflict. Tonight, she would draw a line. She dropped her purse, slammed her palm against the polished wall, and took a steadying breath. Her posture shifted, shoulders squared, feet shoulder-width apart, eyes alight with purpose. Brad lunged first, throwing a clumsy punch. Maya pivoted, seized his wrist, and twisted it behind him in one fluid motion, sending him sprawling across the floor. Darren charged from her left. She sidestepped, hooked his leg with her own, and executed a textbook judo throw that sent him tumbling down the corridor like a rag doll. The clatter of his briefcase echoed as it skidded away. Marcus took a step back, stunned. Maya advanced, gentle but unyielding, as she gripped his elbow and guided him into another throw, this one softer. A demonstration of control more than force. He hit the ground with a stunned thud, staring up at her in disbelief. The hallway had fallen deathly silent. Doors flew open as stunned co-workers spilled into the corridor, phones out, mouths agape. Maya released Marcus, picked up her purse, and brushed imaginary dust from her skirt, her voice calm and carried. "This stops now." Brad, Darren, and Marcus scrambled to their feet, nursing bruised egos more than bruised bodies. No one dared leap to their defense. Maya turned on her heel and walked away, every step echoing with hard-won dignity. Word of the incident spread like wildfire through the office. Emails buzzed, group chats exploded, and by the end of the day, the video, recorded by a stunned IT intern, was circulating company-wide. Human Resources called Maya and not to reprimand her, but to apologize. They had ignored her struggles too long, tolerated the harassment, and failed to provide a safe environment. Within days, Brad, Darren, and Marcus were suspended without pay, required to undergo sensitivity and anti-harassment training.
Maya
Was asked to deliver a talk at the next all-staff meeting on workplace respect and boundaries. She hesitated. Standing center stage to address hundreds of colleagues wasn't in her comfort zone, but she accepted. It was time her voice was heard. On the appointed day. Maya stepped to the podium in a fresh blouse this time, chosen for herself. The auditorium hushed. She shared her story, the pain of feeling invisible, the frustration of relentless teasing, and the power of drawing a boundary. She spoke not of vengeance, but of respect. We all deserve to be treated with dignity, she said, voice steady. Strength isn't measured by how loud you shout, but by how firmly you stand when others try to silence you. Tears glimmered. Among the audience, some of her co-workers approached afterward, quiet allies, who had never found the courage to speak up, thanking her, sharing their own stories. Management announced a new zero-tolerance harassment policy, a supportive reporting system, and regular training sessions. Maya's simple act of self-defense had sparked a cultural reckoning. In the weeks that followed, Maya found herself walking the halls not with fear, but with confidence. She smiled genuinely at those who greeted her. She mentored a new assistant who struggled with anxious laughter. She laughed at jokes again this time, jokes shared in friendship. And every time she passed the now repaired hallway, she gave a small nod to the spot where her blouse had torn. Remembering the moment, she reclaimed her power. Moral of the story? True. Strength is not about triumphing over others. When you stand up for yourself with grace and confidence, you inspire others to do the same and transform fear into respect.